Hey gang, Nate Maddox here. Hey, I was doing a one-on-one coaching session earlier, really diving into aged leads, multi-leads, C leads, B leads, older mortgage protection leads, and dialing them. Now, we really got into some juice on this in this session. It's about 20 minutes or so, so I wanted to post it here. We really dove into the mindset, the cadence, the voice control, everything that combined will eliminate objections for you on the front end and really increase your conversion ratio when mastered of contacts to appointments, which, hey, that is the beginning journey of your profit margin, right? So if you master some of these tips, it will help you on your journey of becoming a pro on the phone. Insurance, I already got insurance. I got plenty of insurance, you know. So we're not calling about insurance. We're calling them because they put the number on here and told us to call them, which if we get there, you gotta get through that first part to where you can even have the conversation, right? So um, let's break down the script here, okay? So right when they answer, I'm not asking if I can speak to anybody. I'm saying their name, period.
Okay.
And I don't care if it's not them. And sometimes it's the wife, and I say, hey, James, and they're like, this isn't James, this is Linda, right? Or if I say, hey, James, and they're like, no, he's not here, that's my dad. Or he's outside. So I say, okay, this is Nate Maddox. Would you mind grabbing him? Could you get him real quick? Well, then whenever James comes to the phone and says hello, I say, hey, James. He never heard me call the other person James. So it doesn't matter. I just assume that's who it is. That's the number they put on here, and this is their name that they put on here. See what I mean? So,
Right.
really assume it's that person. And sometimes I don't even say hi. I say, James, hey, it's Nate Maddox. How are you? Right? So, it's hard not to say, how are you? But you don't have to. I like to say, how are you, just because it's just very casual. See what I mean? So, hey, Nate Maddox, how are you? Hey, listen, just wanted to touch base with you or Sarah real quick. They've got me updating some records, doing some quality control this afternoon. So whenever I say they've got me doing some quality control or updating records, say that part for me. Do call me and do that real quick.
Ring.
Hey, hello?
Hey, Nate, it's Mike Stevens. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Good, Mike.
Hey, I just wanted to touch base with you real quick. They've got me doing some records and quality control this afternoon. I'm calling in reference to your loan with Roof Mortgage for your property on Elm Street.
Read through that. Let's read that together. Just wanted to touch base with you. Now, you're only going to say or that if the spouse's name is available. So a couple of things you want to look at. You want to glance at the lead as it's ringing, and I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for a spouse's name, right?
Yep.
If I have that, it's great. And I'm also looking at the name of the mortgage lender and the address.
Yep.
And I want to say that it was like, all right, Regions Longmill. And I never say the whole address. I say part of the address because it sounds like I'm very local if I do that. So, hey, just calling in regards to the movement mortgage you closed over on Longmill or over on 410. If it's a highway, I'm just like over on 424. 'Cause that's how they say it, right? So it's very relative. Okay. So, but here's what I think you might need to do. This is what I used to have to do in my head when I was dialing old leads, okay, is forget everything else about the business, Mike. Like, that has nothing to do with you, right? Like, you're not calling them to set an appointment to go write insurance or do underwriting or sell insurance or anything. You with me?
Okay. Yep.
You're going to go into a whole nother place, right, where you are a W-2 hourly employee, okay, and your only job, this is your job right now, right? You clock into this mindset, and you clock into this job, and you do this job. Now, later you can be another position, do whatever, But right now, your job is, visualize in your mind your boss that you never want to see again or whoever, right? But you got a boss. They walk into your office with a big stack of these requests. Put them on your office and say, Mike, these are all families that, send a request into us. We don't have any record they're taken care of. Okay, they're about to be at deadline. I need you to call them all. Call them all, figure out what's going on, and let's make sure we get everything to them before the deadline. See what I mean?
Yep.
So your job right now is you need to update these records. And from a quality control standpoint, Mike, we need to know what the hell happened. Like, we got people asking for help. They're dying before they get help, right? And they're not getting it. So do we need to fire somebody? Do we need to hire somebody? What the hell's going on? That's the mindset. Like, you're a supervisor trying to figure out, well, what the hell is happening. That's the job I'm giving you. That is literally your job. Okay, so you can say that confidently, because literally, me and Christian need you to call these people and update the records and figure out what the hell happened, right? Okay. So we can agree that that's your job right now. You'll have another job later, but don't even think about any of that other stuff. That's the only thing you have to think about. So they got me updating some records and doing some quality control this afternoon. When you say that, I want you to roll your eyes. I want you to be kind of aggravated about it. You don't want to do it, right? This is boring work. You would rather do other stuff. But we got you doing some updating some records, or you can just say quality control, whatever. They got me updating some records, doing some quality control this afternoon. Hey, just wanted to touch base with you guys real quick. I'm calling in reference to your Regions Bank over on Elm Street. See the difference?
Yep.
Okay. Now, we'll go through that again, but I'm going to go through this next part with you. I only pause for half a second, okay? I don't really pause. Usually when they say, yeah, because a lot of times they'll say, yeah, because you said their bank name and their street, okay? So they said, yep. And now, at that moment, in the first couple of seconds, I am now someone that they are going to stay on the phone with until they figure out what this is and make their decision. But they haven't made the decision that they're not interested or going to hang up yet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we're through that first gauntlet. Now, this next thing that you say, even whenever you ran through that first part a second ago, your voice tone went up. You said, I'm calling in reference to your whatever mortgage over on M Street, right? So try to be very, do some exercises and start being intentional and conscious of that, of your voice control and your pitch going up and down, okay? So if you do have to ask a question, what's a question? What time do you get off work? See, I didn't think about that. I'm programmed myself to do it that way. But usually if you would say, hey, what time do you guys get off work? See what I mean? You go up at the end of the sentence. But I'm already programmed. I didn't even think about it. I said, what time do you guys get off work? I go down. It's the opposite.
Okay.
See what I mean? So, all right. So I'm calling about your Regions Bank over on Elm Street. Hey, back when you guys closed on that mortgage, you actually sent a request in, mailed it into our office. It would have been about the coverage that pays the mortgage off when you die or anything happens to you. So whenever you say that, I want you to say it like you can say that confidently, because here's the facts. Everything that you're saying right now, get confidence. You don't need confidence in a success rate or momentum of being able to do this, Mike. You just need to be able to speak a fact confidently, which I'm sure you can. Do you live in the United States of America?
Yes.
Tell me that you live in the United States of America.
I live in the USA.
Exactly. That's fact, right? I live in the USA, right? So that's a fact. So I want you to say this just like you would say that, without any question in your mind, because you know where you live, right? You know what, so it's the same thing. Because here's the facts. Back when they closed the mortgage, guess what they did, Mike?
They sent in a form.
They sure as hell did, because they wrote their name on it and their number on it right here. And that's the only reason we're calling them. They wrote their number on here, asked us to call them, right? So when you say that, say it like you freaking mean it. You know, hey, back when you guys closed on the mortgage, you actually sent a request into our office. Looks like you were, just trying to get the coverage options for the coverage that would pay the mortgage off. So I say coverage instead of insurance, right? The coverage that would pay the mortgage off when you die. Hey, we have no record you ever received that. Like I said, my name's Mike. I'm the field underwriter assigned to your file. Jason, man, my job's just to do the preliminary underwriting. Basically, just get everything over to you guys that you would need. From our end, it's going to have to be in your hand from there. I just have to get it to you before the deadline, which I already have everything. I won't keep you real quick before I let you go. I want to make sure this is right. Yeah, I'll get it figured out and then call you back and get it to you. See what I mean? So whenever you want to breeze through, you want them to know why you're calling, because it's the coverage. You're trying to get looks like you were trying to get the info for the coverage that pays the house off when you die, right? We have no record that you received the info you requested. So do we have a record that they received the info requested?
Nope.
Okay. If they had, what would happen? They wouldn't be in the stack right now. They would already be they would be in our other stack. They would be in our book of business for already getting it approved and taken care of. See what I mean? So,
yep.
I go through that, and immediately, like on the tip of your tongue, that needs to be right there. Like I said, my name's Mike. I'm the field underwriter assigned to your file. And then you want to say their name a lot. The more they say your name, the more you say their name, the better, really. You can almost not say it too much. You know what I mean? So, all right. So I want you to really so do you feel like that helped dissecting that and being like, okay, well, this is a fact, this is a fact, and this is a fact. See what I mean? You can have confidence in saying those words because they are true facts.
Yes.
Okay. Let's try it. Take it from the top. Now, remind you, it's a lot easier calling one of these leads and having this conversation than it is for you right now talking to me.
Yeah, no.
They don't know what you're supposed to say. And there's a reason I'm doing this to you. And I know it sucks. But if you can do it to me, dude, you're fine. Call anybody and you'll be fine with them. See what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I could actually tell a huge difference in my confidence level when we were on the Zoom call as opposed to when I normally call. Like, not saying that my calls are great whenever I call. They're not. And that's why we're on this call. But I can certainly tell my level drops in your presence.
I know what you're supposed to be saying. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I know what you're supposed to be saying. They don't. And it doesn't really matter that much what you say. It's more so how you say it, which is the only thing that we're really talking about right now is how you're saying things, because that's the biggest, that's the biggest thing, You can be anybody you want to on the phone, Mike. Dude, I used to have to, you know what? You want to hear some... People don't know this, but Mike, I was the worst on the phone. Did you know that?
No.
Did you know I was the worst on the phone I've ever seen? Right? I have an old laptop that burned up in the fire that I wish I had because it has audio recording. When I started recording myself, and that's when the light bulb went off because I heard myself and I said, well, god dang, no wonder they hung up on you. I would, like, if this person called me, I would hang up on them, right? Because they sound like they don't know what they're talking about,
Right.
If you call me and you don't know what you're talking about, I'm not going to tell you, especially if you're talking about my info, I'm hanging up, right? So what I had to do was come up with a different persona of somebody that was really good on the phone. And I went by my middle name. I swear to God, I used to call people and say, hi, Mike, this is Clayton. How are you doing? Because my middle name is Clayton, right? And because I didn't identify myself with somebody that could do it. And I was like, I had that feeling, But Clayton can,
No.
Clayton can do it. And so I used to, in that way, when people would call me back or I'd have a voicemail about Clayton, I knew that was a lead or somebody I'd called from work because I only had one phone number. So, yeah, that's funny, man. Another thing that I did was reprogrammed my mind to believe that I am good at it. Is that crazy?
No, not at all. For the past 20 years, I've learned about reprogramming your mind, and it's...
I had just learned about it. I understood it just enough to try it and say, all right, I'm going to do it, right? So it was after like reading Napoleon Hill or something, and it made sense to me that, how when I started understanding how the mind worked, that you can believe anything, and it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, you believe it, right? Like if we were born in Saudi Arabia, could believe that I could walk into this office building with C4 strapped on my chest and blow myself up and wake up in an alternate reality with a bunch of women who have never had sex before. Which sounds crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds crazy. But if I believe that, it's real to me. Okay? So why would I believe that? Well, repetition mixed with emotion is how your mind is programmed to think stuff. Okay? So I got real intentional, man, and real careful about having emotion. Or when I did have emotion, I realized that was power, because you can't make yourself have emotion, right? But whenever you do feel an emotion, that is the missing power. Like I can tell myself all day long with no emotion, Nate, you are short, or whatever. Nate, you're short, or whatever. And I would never believe that. It doesn't mean anything. It would be on the tip of my mind because it's over and over repetitive. But what sinks in to program your subconscious mind is repetition mixed with emotion. Emotion is the power that locks it in and makes you believe something, right? So if you're a kid and and you're not feeling good enough, and I'm like neglecting you, as a parent or a teacher or somebody, and I'm like, and you're embarrassed in front of the class or something, and I'm like, you'll never amount to nothing, you're no good, or whatever. Eventually, if I have that emotion and someone's telling me that over and over, I'll start to believe that and identify that way, right? And end up in jail because that's where I'm supposed to be. That's where everyone told me I was supposed to be. See what I mean?
Yep.
So, as it applies to dialing, literally what I did, and this sounds hokey, right? But that feeling you get every time someone hangs up on you? It's easy to, eventually you get calloused. But that still aggravates me sometimes. Like, I'm calling to help you idiot. But what about that feeling whenever you call them and you book the appointment and they're like, all right, see you at 7. That feeling?
Yes.
That feeling feels pretty good. It's a good feeling, right? It's a good emotion that happens, especially after you've been getting your ass kicked and you haven't heard that in a while. It feels even better, don't it?
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
It feels incredible. So what I would do was every time that I booked an appointment, I would hang up, set my phone down, and I would just feel that emotion, and out loud over and over I would say, I am a beast on the phone. I am good on the phone. Put me on the phone. Anybody, anywhere, I'll close them right now. I'm a beast on the phone. I'm a beast on the phone. Put me on the phone with anybody. I'll close them. I'm great on the phone. I'm a beast. I'm a beast on the phone. I'm good on the phone. Over and over, every time I book an appointment. And eventually, I don't remember how long it took, but somehow I convinced myself of that, and I am a beast on the phone, and you can put me on the phone with anybody, anywhere. If there's something there, I'm going to close it. I don't even care if that is even reality or not, Mike. I believe that so much. But I've convinced myself of that, and now it's true. But it would be scary to dial in front of other people that know what you're supposed to be saying, because they know what you're supposed to be saying, But through that exercise and making these tweaks, now, dude, I've dialed in Orlando in a breakout in front of 400 people holding a microphone up with everybody staring at me, the entire company, And the first one was kind of nerve-wracking. And I was trying to hold the microphone to where you could hear it, and I'm walking around, pacing around, sweaty, But after the first one, I was comfortable there. So I went from being uncomfortable without anyone looking at me, making a phone call from my basement, being scared, uncomfortable, not able to make the phone call or sound confident at all, getting hung up on, all the way to by stepping outside of my comfort zone. Every time you do that, your comfort zone stretches a little bit. If I went from there to being comfortable, literally, I'll get up in front of Barry Clarkson and anybody that wants to, and I will dial a bit in front of anybody. That's how stretched out my comfort zone I can be comfortable in that situation. So I tell you that to say this: you are already a lot better than I was on the phone already. There's no so it's the same thing, same program. It'll be the same way, but by you making these couple adjustments and being able to speak this confidently and really start paying attention to your tonality and tone control and your pauses and stuff, dude, you're gonna be fine. So I would spend an hour or so before you dial, and I would even record myself on my phone, try to get through this first part, because you're only trying to get through the first part, and then you're like, hey, real quick before I let you go, I'm almost done. Let me make sure everything's right, and I'll try to call you back tomorrow and get it to you, or I'll get it to you tomorrow, something like that. So you know how to do the rest of it. Once you verify their information, ask them what time they get off work, and you tell them what time you're available. That's the easy part. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And I haven't seen anything where that was that issue that you had trouble with. Is like once you get to verifying the information, they say yes, yes, yes. Hey, what time do you get off work? Unless they're out of town or something, you're booking an appointment. It doesn't never go south then. Run through it together one time. I'm gonna make you do it, okay? And then I want you to do it for a little while and go into this next dial session with a different mindset. That you're not an insurance agent, you're not a field underwriter, you're not even the one going to their house, Mike. Your job is literally, and you're annoyed that you have to do this right now, but your job is, your boss gave you these, you got to update these records, figure out what happened, and you need to schedule a time for their delivery.
Just wanted to touch base with you. They've got me updating some records and doing some quality control this afternoon. I'm calling in reference to your mortgage with your bank loan with Rocket Mortgage on Elm Street. Back when you guys closed the mortgage, you actually sent in a request for information.
All right, you're not going to be able to get through all of it right now without it sounding like you're reading, because you are reading it, okay?
Yep.
And whenever you said on Elm Street, you said that because you're looking at this blank and you're trying to process it, and there's nothing there, so you don't know what street it is, and that's why you're saying it. You're saying a statement to me, but you're saying it like a question. Mm-hmm. And if you do that to them, boom! I completely categorize you right then. You're not talking. You're asking me if I have a bank on that street. No, I don't know you. I ain't talking to you. See what I mean? So here's what I would suggest doing. Write with a pen. Write this script down. Skip the spouse's name. Write a bank name if you need to. Like, you write it down in your handwriting, and keep going, like record yourself through it, because if you would have heard yourself right then, you would have said, oh, I went up with my voice and it sounds like I'm reading. So you just sit there and do it by yourself. Nobody has to listen to the recordings, and do it like 8 or 9 or 10 times on different recordings. See what I mean? And then you can go back to the first and second one, and then you can go to the third, fourth, and fifth one, and by 8 or 10 of them, I bet you sound exactly like you want to sound, because you're just going to make that change on that sentence. And then once you can get through that without sounding a certain way, now you can get to the next part. Like, just make sure you kill the first part, even if you screw the rest up. Kill the first part. Now once that's down and internalized, now kill the second part. See what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
Say it, but communicate it. Like, they've got me updating some records. You closed calling about the back when you guys closed on the mortgage, you sent us some paperwork. Like, communicate what you're saying, put feeling back of it, and think about the meaning of what you're actually saying, why you say it, and it'll sink into them and they'll listen to you. Hopefully that helps. I'm not trying to beat you up too bad, but
I can handle it.
Dude, I know the stakes, man. I know the stakes that we're playing for. So, I'm going to do everything I can to help you, just like I said I would. If I see something happening, I'm sure if you're like me, you'd rather know about it soon. Let's change it fast, and get through that. And then let's find our next thing to master. But right now, this is the biggest thing I think. If you make these changes, dude, you're going to get a higher appointment to contact ratio. And that pays you more money, period. Just alone. Yeah. Be intentional about what you're programming your mind. Because guess what? You've been doing the opposite unconsciously already. When they hang up on you, you're like, there's that voice. And if you feel down in that moment and you let your thoughts do that a couple of times, it starts becoming natural. And then it starts doing it habitually. When someone hangs up on you, you're like, oh man, I suck at this. All right, boom, boom, boom. And then before long, now you've programmed your mind to think that you suck at it. So trying to go against that is hard. So like manually override that and you'll be fine.
Okay.
So I'll never forget years ago, my mentor, my manager, Eric Bowling, owner of More Freedom Financial, told me early on, he said, Nate, if you focus on one thing, make it your ability to dial and book appointments, your ability to overcome objections. That is the one skill set that focusing on that will directly and indirectly seriously impact your income and your growth here. Because, hey, it's the foundation of everything. You're learning to communicate well, to connect with people just audibly, dealing with different personalities. Communication, that's what we get paid for. Dealing with the 11 different personality types and being able to communicate, overcome objections. You're just battling human nature. Don't take things personally, but it's the foundation of your cash flow. And hey, that skill set translates to any industry. So remember this: making money, not making money. Making money, not making money. Making money, not making money. Thanks for coming by, hanging out. Nate Maddox, PTP Groups. I'll see you on the leaderboard.